All right, let's forget about spreadsheets and budgets for just a minute. Today, we're talking about something way more powerful when it comes to your money, your own brain. We're going to dive into the hidden psychology behind why we all buy things we don't actually need.
So let me ask you something. Ever had one of those days? You know the one. You pop into the store for just one thing, just milk, and somehow you walk out with a cart full of stuff you had absolutely no intention of buying. Yeah, we've all been there. Look, if that sounds even a little bit familiar, I want you to know something. You're not bad with money. It's not some kind of character flaw. It just means you're human. And our brains, well, they're wired in some really fascinating and kind of weird ways when it comes to spending.
So let's break this whole thing down. We're calling this the milk run mistake. And we're calling it that because it's a story pretty much everyone on the planet can relate to. By understanding it, we can start to see the powerful forces at play every single time we pull out our wallets. This all leads to a huge, fundamental question, one I'm sure you've probably asked yourself before. Why? Why do we spend money we don't really have on stuff we don't really need, sometimes to impress people we don't even like? Well, the answer is kind of a 1-2 punch. It's what's happening inside our heads, and it's the pressure from the world all around us. Let's start with the internal culprit first. The first piece of this puzzle is all about our own brain chemistry, because there's this incredibly powerful force that goes to work every single time you see that shiny buy now button. And that force has a name: dopamine. Now, we usually think of it as the pleasure chemical, right? But here's the twist. It's not really about pleasure at all. It's the anticipation chemical. Your brain releases it when you just think about getting something new, not when you actually have it. It's not about the having, it's about the wanting. It's literally the thrill of the hunt. And this is where our ancient kind of caveman brain kicks into high gear. Think about it. Our brains are hardwired for scarcity. When our ancestors saw a rare patch of berries, the instinct was to grab them before another tribe or a wild animal did. Fast forward to today, and retailers use that exact same primal urge with limited time offers or only 2 left in stock. Your brain just screams, grab it before the Neanderthals do. So the most crucial thing to get here is that the joy, that chemical high, it comes from the hunt, not the catch. It's that buzz you get tracking the package online, or just imagining yourself with that new gadget. By the time the item actually arrives, that dopamine hit is long gone. But that credit card bill? Yeah, that's very, very real. Okay, so that's the battle that's happening inside your own skull. But that's only half the story. That internal struggle gets cranked up to 11 by a massive external pressure, the social media comparison trap. You know, people used to talk about keeping up with the Joneses next door. Now, we're trying to keep up with influencers online whose entire job is to create a flawless, filtered highlight reel. We end up comparing our real, messy, behind-the-scenes lives with their perfectly curated, often fake, online personas. It's not a fair fight. And all of this points to a really surprising number. Financial success, it's about 90% behavior, and only about 10% is head knowledge. Think about that. You can have the most detailed, perfect budget in the world, but if you don't understand the behavioral urge to spend, you are always going to be fighting an uphill battle. So how do we fight back? How do we push back against our own brain and all this outside pressure? With a simple but incredibly powerful tool, the 24-hour pause button. Here's how it works. It's so simple. First, when you're about to make a non-essential purchase, let's just say for anything over $50, you identify it. Second, you wait. You just step away for one day. And third, after those 24 hours are up, you reevaluate. You ask yourself, do I still feel that same burning urge to buy this thing? And why does this work so well? Because that 24-hour period is just enough time for that dopamine of anticipation, that primal I have to have it now feeling, to just fade away. It gives your logical, planning brain a chance to catch up and grab the steering wheel back from your impulsive, emotional brain. So, let's bring all this home. When you start to look at it this way, managing your money isn't some awful chore or punishment. It's a game. And it's a game you can absolutely win. Honestly, the most important takeaway from all of this is that financial well-being isn't really about being a math genius. It's about becoming a student of your own psychology. The second you understand the why behind your urges, that's the moment you gain power over them. And I'll leave you with this one last thought. Every small decision you make today, every single time you hit that 24-hour pause button, is a gift you're giving to your future self. So the real question is, what choices will you make today that your future self is going to thank you for?